How's it going, everybody? RLCS action yet again. We got 6 weeks in a row of this stuff, and we're already back into North America. We had regionals go down for the open qualifier. We found our top 16, and we've also got the first round of matches for you all because they released South America again, and we've broken down the results. So makes it nice and easy for you guys. We're going to recap some of the chaos that happened in this double elimination that went down this weekend. We talked about upsets potential. We got them this time. So let's take a look at the beginning. Again, OG, since they lost to TSM and dropped down to lowers, what that means is that they are going to be the low seed and having to battle their way up from here on out, which is really tough. They've basically got to play upset. The only way they're going to get that back is if they beat the team ahead of them, which I think they're pretty much gridlocked with the first seed from here on out. Not an easy feat. So G2 ends up going through, proving that, yes, they are still the number one as of right now. Surprises, though, we did see, again, some shakiness and consistency. M80 did not look that great, but for some reason, they also really like to go to Game 5. They go up against that Detonate roster. I forget Detonate. I think that was the Vibrance team that got picked up, if I remember correctly, all the way to 5. And then University of Rob, which had a different name. It was Randy's... We can't say it. But they went to 5 as well. They played a really close series and played quite well. So we got a lot of bit of hope of that one. We're like, damn, you're going toe-to-toe against some of these players. I personally was not impressed with M80 in that series. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they got too comfortable or what's going on, but M80 kind of let me down after their good like uptick. They kind of leveled out for me. So a little bit crazy. Dignitas TSM was a really good qualifier match. Dignitas proven, yes, we're still trying to be top 4 and pull through. I ended up casting the deleted series out of the gate. A lot better results from what we saw the previous day on Saturday, where they looked beyond flat. They finally said they are going to play with some urgency and prove that they are faster. They beat Incorrect. And then Luminosity, literally just demo chasing that back line. So much disruption, and then you pair it with some good mechanics and some good double touch capabilities with Magic Bear, and you let them cook, and they make quick work 3-0. I think 2 of those games were 1-goal games. One of them was an OT. Genji, Quick Work, Boulevard, Space Station beating that Energy team that is now using Drees. We talked about that situation all day in yesterday's video. Make sure you guys go check that out if you aren't sure what I'm talking about. Toasty's gone, Drees is in. They get swept. The big surprise is because of this, crazy things went down. So, G Buffo is a team that has performed well during some of the offseason tournaments. Ended up beating Shopify 3-1. And because of the way seeding works, G Buffo then takes the seed from Shopify. They acquire the seed, which means that this position, this spot in particular, is the 7th overall seed in the tournament. Whoever wins here is the 7th overall seed. So G Buffalo goes against Ben, and they win. So G Buffalo is your 7 overall seed going into the weekend. No, 3rd seed. I lied. That's the 3rd overall seed. It's even crazier. So Shopify went from being a team that was top 4 in Regional 1 to dropping to the lower bracket. So G Buffalo gets rewarded. They get an easier kind of a layup match in that first round. And something I'm very happy to see, Pirates on a Boat. Perfect matches. 3-0, 3-0. They beat Young Whippersnappers, who had a good run last regional. They secured their spot as well as the number 6 seed. So I talk about the importance, setting a precedent, showing what happens when you make a top 8. You get advantages. Pirates on a Boat, because they took top 8, they dropped to Dignitas last week, puts them in the top side of the bracket with advantage, which gives them a high seed. So they are 6th seed. Super happy for them. We then drop down to lowers. Deleted bounces back over Pipsqueaks. They're going in as the number 12 seed. TSM ends up beating Shopify, which was crazy. Shopify almost lost to Is I'm Dreaming. It went to Game 5. It was super close, and then they clutched up in Game 5, I'm pretty sure. But there was like a moment where it was like an OT, and they almost conceded. Crazy. But because of that, TSM now takes that from them. Shopify, a team that was top 4, is not in the regional at all. They're sitting on the sidelines. They will not be playing. And like, let's call it what it is. We can talk about it, but their owner, their founder, said it even better. He's like, hey, complaining about the format after we had the worst single day performance since we entered Rocket League is pretty lame. Which I agree. I think it's very forward about him. He's just like, you know what? We played like garbage. We did not look good, in complaining the format. It wasn't necessarily the format's fault. That's on us. We dropped a series as a top 4 team that we never should have against G Buffo. We shouldn't. Upsets happen, but like that is not one that we should be conceding. We're bad. The other teams are good. They move on. We don't. That's fair. He's like, when you combine the impact of one bad day and how it cascades across the rest of the year, the issues with Blast, admins, and the lack of an esports team at Epic, yeah, it makes it pretty difficult to invest in long-term Rocket League. It's sad because I love this game. And he's not wrong about that. When you talk about the brutal part of what the season is and not guaranteed seeds and everything else, the fact that you don't have a top 4 team competing in the next week, while yes, you should have won, and he's not discrediting that, but what it does for storylines, narratives, rematches, rivalries, all that kind of stuff, the fact that that's not even a thing now is problematic. It's not good for the scene. It's not good for the esport. The format is showcasing that off days can kind of happen, but when you're playing double elimination, best of 5s, it's going to only cause more of those things to happen. That's why the guaranteed buy into the top 8 was important, because Swiss gives you 3 lives on the day. It allows you to bounce back and make adjustments. It's strength of schedule. It's seeded really well. Like, there is a way to make sure that the best teams are going to move forward on the day. Double elimination best of 5s aren't always the greatest way to do that. So he's frustrated, and this is the big one I take away from it. You've got an organization in Shopify that is worth 80 billion with a B dollars, and even they are going, hey, it's kind of tough to invest long-term into Rocket League. If they, who can clearly afford it, they have the bankroll to do it, are going to pull out, what does that mean for the rest of them? Something to consider. Problematic. We jump back in, and congratulations to TSM. They take over that seed. That'll put them as 13. We then have that university team, Randy's, that, you know, went toe-to-toe and did well in the top seed against M80. They do clutch up in a game 5, nail biter. They make it through. So we've got some new faces coming in. OG does clutch up over Plot Twist. Plot Twist we will not be seeing back.
Hey there.
And Incorrect, a team that a lot of people wrote off with Angel, Tool, and Flitz, end up beating Young Whippersnappers. So again, a lot of upsets this time around, a lot of unfamiliar faces. Also, round of applause in chat for everybody for Omelet. Omelet was a team that many of us expected to make top 16 in Regional 1. They didn't make it. It was a big upset. We were surprised by that. That's the Percy Zanil Line Blaze roster. They got dropped early in the open qualifier. They came in the lower bracket. Omelet was not, as you guys can see, a team that came from the upper bracket. They dropped down early and were able to go on a streak and won all the way through, only dropping 2 games in those lower brackets, and ended up qualifying top 16. That is scary. I would not like to be in their position, but they clutch up. Energy drops down. They've got to play their former teammate in a game 5 nail biter with a brand new team. I talk about that a lot in yesterday's video. Make sure you guys go check that out. And then Leftovers, a team that was so close to making it in the first regional. They went to 5. Cam and those guys just couldn't clutch up. This time, no mistake, 3 over Boulevard. They do it. So some new faces, some that were on the cusp last time do make it this time, like Omelet, like Leftovers. Incorrect was kind of close. And some familiar faces. So we've got some new blood. We've got some old blood. But what does that mean for the matchups? We did this last time as well. If you guys aren't familiar with the way the seeding works, if you guys ever want to do this, you guys can go to the Start GG page. The cool thing about Start GG is that they do have South America usually first with the details. So I put down the seeds and the location of the matchups. The seedings are done as follows. So we've got 1-8 all the way down. And then I compared those results for South America to North America to see if the matchups were the same, and they were. So we've got 1 versus 15, 2 versus 16, 3, 13, so on and so forth, like we did last time. And then we've got our first round matchups. So your first round for the top 16, G2 versus Leftovers, Gen G again versus OG. So you've got 1 versus 15, 2 versus 16. They swap Leftovers and OG, otherwise you'd have a rematch of G2 versus OG again, which they want to avoid. G Buffo takes Shopify's spot. So this was supposed to be Shopify. And they go up against TSM. That's a winnable match for TSM. They ended up going 3-2 last time as well. Dig versus Omelet. I don't know if they're happy about that one, but Dignitas being rewarded for their efforts. You've got LG versus Incorrect. I'm sure they're very happy about that. Incorrect, I think, is going to have a very tough time against the aggression that is LG on offense. That's going to be problematic, I think, for them. Pobe versus Deleted XD. Deleted, obviously, that's the stream that I'll be covering on this channel, twitch.tv/Lawler. Come hang out with us. I'll be casting Swiss on this channel on Friday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, up against Pobe. I think Pobe has proven that they are a team to be taken seriously, but Deleted has played up to their competition in the past. Last time the first round was 3-2 against TSM. They lost. So we'll see if they can clutch it out. But Pobe has proven the Chiefs and the boys know what they're doing. They're looking good doing it. So we'll see. Selfishly, I'm a little bit rooting for this one, but obviously the team stream, we want to see it start with a W. We've got Space Station against Akron Esports, and that is the Randy's team name, the University of Rob. They've gone through many iterations, but it is the first CRL full team to qualify for the RLCS. We saw multiple teams in the top 24 CRL capable, top 32 CRL capable. So if you're a CRL player competing at the top, you are top 32 in North America. Pretty awesome. But Akron, the first team CRL dedicated to make it into the RLCS, and your reward is playing Space Station, who many consider top 3 in NA. Good luck. And then outside of that, I think a really fun series. M80, who's been looking a little bit shaky, have a week to bounce back and figure their stuff out. Going against NRG with the new iteration with Drees. Those are your first rounds. They're going to be fun. They're going to be exciting. So exciting things across the board, chat. Looking forward to seeing how it all plays out this Friday. Again, if you guys want to come hang out with me, twitch.tv/Lawler. I will be streaming those matches from the Deleted perspective. And we had some pretty entertaining results last time. So hit me up. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about what's going on, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're doing that, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.